All right. Hello, everyone. So, first of all, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of GDSC. And the fact that you all are here, I would also like to congratulate you to have rightly chosen our club because we definitely have the potential to create a digital backbone in every facet and walk of our lives, irrespective of creed, culture, age, or gender. So, moving on, I'll quickly unravel the flow of the entire orientation. So, first up, we have a message from our leads, followed by a brief description of what are we and what have we done so far, um, a brief description of hackathons and their culture in our university and what role have we played. And then there's going to be a very exciting quiz that could actually get you a direct interview, and you might just get a chance to reserve a position for yourself as a core member in our club in the coming months. Then a description of the projects and programs at GDSC, followed by a big and much awaited announcement on recruitment. So, guys, stay tuned till the end. And lastly, there's going to be a very detailed Ask Me Anything session on Discord at 8 p.m. So, I would now like to call on Saurav to please address everyone.
Um, I hope I'm here. Hello everyone, I'm Saurav. I'm the current GDSC lead for GDSC TIT. It's nice to see a lot of people here. Uh, a lot of people from first year have joined us. So this is a very new session for GDSC. We have been trying to change a lot of things about how clubs should operate in a society or in a college. So, for example, we are trying to remove the age barrier that exists in seniority level in the colleges. For example, in GDSC, we have mentors from second year as well, and we are trying to bridge that gap. And hopefully, in the future, we might have someone from first year becoming the GDSC lead. So yeah, that is possible too. So this is one of the things that we are trying to do. Not like a lot of clubs who have a particular rule set of rules that need to be followed. Like only the third year people can be the head of the societies. No, we are trying to change that here. Also, we do not have a lot of events, but we have a lot of and programs that can actually help you learn and grow. Obviously, Jayati and Suprit here will be talking about that. And lastly, we'll have a lot of a new announcement for the recruitments too. So I hope you guys stay tuned till the end. And also, after this thing ends, we are going to have the Ask Me Anything session on Discord. So, like, it is not possible for us to have all of the questions here. So at 8 p.m., I hope that a lot of you will join Discord and actually talk with us. Like we have a lot of people, the mentors, the core team, and the leads. We will talk to you. You can ask us any doubts or anything regarding the college, not just your career or anything, but yeah, all the general doubts that you might have regarding college. So yeah, that was it from my end. I hope Jaiti can continue now.
Thank you, Saurav. All right. So now, what are we? What is Google Developer Student Club, and what do we do? So basically, we focus on the power of open source and peer-to-peer learning, because it's only when you apply you can remember and contribute and then suddenly start developing interest in the world of tech and per se development. So we here encourage people to learn from their peers, their seniors, and apart from that, build solutions for local everyday problems. So I would like to take a minute or two to just discuss what open source is. Now, there are basically two types of softwares out there: open source and closed source, right? So open source is wherein you can contribute and maybe fix some bugs that you find on your own. But closed source, as an example, if I would take it, would be Microsoft or Apple. You can't just get inside their code base and tell them that you should fix this bug, or maybe I could do that for them. You can't do it. And if we talk about open source, Linux is one of the very popular open source softwares out there. It has a very big community. So That's what we're focusing here on. You have to contribute, learn, and grow on the way by applying your existing and current knowledge into building solutions for everyday problems. Okay, so helping students bridge the gap between theory and practice, we've heard the statement a lot many times in our lives. I'm pretty sure of that. And if I were to break it down with respect to our club at this juncture, um, we all know that any idea or concept, if not implemented, will not benefit anyone. And we here at GDSC provide practice well integrated to theory for the much needed growth of our members in order to set them apart in the field of development. So, what do we do? So, three keywords come to mind: connecting, learning, and growing on the way. If you want to be a successful developer, I can't help but overemphasize the benefits of joining a developer community. You get access to shared tools, shared resources, you can answer questions, you can get your queries resolved, and it's basically an in house Stack Overflow, right? And learning is definitely very important because until and unless you learn, even if you do want to make contributions to open source projects, I'm afraid you won't be able to make any, right? So for learning, we have hands-on workshops and in-person training. Apart from that, also project building sessions. And then now that you've connected with people around on campus or your peers, learned on the way some of the technologies, this there is now the growing phase, right? You have to now apply your knowledge into projects and start solving real world problems. That is how you can reinforce your learning, and that is how you can clear your concepts. Apart from that, you also give back to your community in the same way. So now is the time to talk about our journey hitherto. GDSC TIT just completed its second anniversary, August last year, and we've organized many events like CS 101, Introductions to Computer Science. So basically, it was a course for any amount of students who belong to different branches in Thapar. It could be civil engineering or mechanical engineering, but if they're interested in computer science, they would have joined, that course and maybe attended that to get their hands on computer science if they were really interested in it. Because we believe that everyone should get a chance to learn what they really wish for, in our case, tech and computer science. We've also successfully held sessions on Google Summer of Code and cloud computing. Apart from that, inter-college hackathon in the institute was held under the name of Hack TIT. It was very successful. And now in the previous slide, I just talked about learning. So this point here, the boot camps that we've held on advanced topics like AI, ML, web dev, mobile dev, and IoT, it actually stands as a testimony to the fact that we encourage learning on the way. We don't really expect you to be, an Albert Einstein at tech on the first day. So we're here to help you out, and in the form of boot camps or personalized sessions, right? So we're there for you at any instant of time. And lastly, we have open source projects like a self-driving car that works on computer vision algorithms. Thapar OLX, as the name suggests, is basically a buying and selling platform for seniors to sell stuff and juniors to maybe buy it, or it could be vice versa also. And Vexio is a bigger and better version of the current LMS, right? And all of these projects are being developed at GDSC currently. So, why should you even consider being part of GDSC? This is a very pertinent question, right? So, here are some of the perks. In this day and age, we have so many people to compete with, right? And many of them have worked hard, many of them are learning certain tech stacks and maybe are working on projects. But here at GDSC, this is basically a globally recognized program, which is directly managed by Google developers. So it definitely does leave an impact on your resume and sets you apart from the crowd out there, right? And we're also the sole industry affiliated community in our college. Apart from that, if you're interested in learning, you're willing to learn, apply your knowledge, then you also get Google credits worth $300 for free to learn cloud technology. Apart from that, you also want to know about the current um, things going on in the world of tech, right? And you want to be aware of what is going on, what are the problems, how can you address them. So, in order to do that, you can also get access to and attend sessions by Google on latest developments in the field of tech. And then lastly, you also get swags like t-shirts and badges and Google devices and stickers. Onward, let's talk about hackathons. So, hackathons are basically social coding contests that bring together computer enthusiasts and other interested people in order to improve upon or build a new solution to an existing problem or a problem statement that has been given to them. So, this not only hones your skills in development, it also latently and indirectly um, betters your interpersonal skills because you actually get to talk to people and you get to learn from them on the way. And we here encourage just that, to participate in hackathons, help each other ideate over a solution, and then apply your knowledge into that solution on the way. So here are some of the accolades of GDSC in hackathons. So firstly, in the Smart India Hackathon 2019 Software Edition, two teams from GDSC were winners, right? Our alumni, Kush Daga, actually was the representative, one of the representatives of India in the India-Singapore Hackathon. And in fact, in SIH 2020, GDSC had 4 out of 5 teams selected for idea presentation. That is 80% of the lot for idea presentation. And apart from that, our current lead and also our previous lead have won 6+ national level hackathons. And in fact, Shrestha Arora, one of our core members, also won the NASA App Hackathon and Indian Institute of Information and Technology Delhi Hacks. And there are many more accolades that we could mention right now, but I'm afraid we have limited amount of time. And now is the time for the much awaited quiz. And now I would also like to invite Pritika to the stage in order to proceed with the quiz. Pritika, if you're there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Jayati. Hi, everyone. I am Pratika. I hope I'm audible to all of you. I'm a core member at GDSC. I hope this session so far has been quite informative for all of you and you have understood the perks of being the part of the GDSC family. We believe in do anything that brings you joy. So, here we are with the fun activity of a quiz to test your intellect. So, the rules of the quiz are there are 5 questions with 4 choices in which only one would be correct. For individual question, you'll be given 10 seconds time. After every question, we'll have a quick look at the leaderboard to see what's happening there. After every question is basically based on knowledge related to information and technology. As mentioned earlier, the first 3 people who will win this quiz would have a direct PI with us. So, guys, start joining the link which is present in the chat and let's see you guys there.
Guys, you have to join to on menti.com. We have the code right here. If anyone could send it in the chat, please. Guys, join this ASAP because it is one and only opportunity to get a direct PI. We'll wait for 1 more minute.
Okay, so we are all set to begin. So let's have our first question for the quiz. The question is on your screen, guys, and the options are okay. I guess Xbox One might be the answer, but I didn't like it really. So, okay, time's up. And the answer was PlayStation 3. That's nice. Okay. Now let's look at the leaderboard. Okay, so far Hassan is on the lead. That's great. That's great. Let's have more competition, guys. Okay. Okay. So let's move forward. And the next question is,
This might be a mishap. Suprit, this question actually got skipped. We can move a bit slowly.
okay,
Let's skip this question. Next,
I guess there is a technical glitch for this question, so we'll skip this question. Moving forward to the third question we have. Okay, this question is on your screen, guys. Come on, hurry up. And the options are, we have studied this, I guess, in our junior classes, so it must be easy for all of you, right? Isn't it? Time's up. And the answer is unidirectional, right? Okay, so let's again have a look at the leaderboard. This time, let's see who's winning. Okay, so we have Avi Bansal, nice. And yeah, that's super great. Looks like the GDC god has been displaced finally. Okay, yes. Now let's have the next question. The question 4. Guys, the faster you will answer, the more points you will gain. Guys, this is something you should know. ये तो करने भी वाले हैं अब हम. And let's look at what was right. Okay, so let's have the look at the leaderboard. Last time we had Avi Bansal as the leader, right? Let's see, has somebody overpowered him yet or not? Okay, still maintaining the lead. That's super great. Guys, show a certain competition. Just one question is left. So the final question of the quiz is on your screen, guys. All those people interested in things related to viruses, come on, people. Yeah, the time's up. And the correct answer was creeper. Nice. So finally, let's have the look at the leaderboard and see who 3 people have won the quiz. Okay, great. Congratulations, Kush. You won the quiz. In the chat box provided, you will get a link of Discord, right? Please contact us there. Thank you, guys. It was amazing to see such competitive spirits in all of you, right? And after this session, let's move forward with the orientation and let's get to know more about the projects and programs which have been undertaken by GDSC in depth with Supreet. Supreet, the floor is all yours.
it was a great quiz. Just 1 second, Hassan, if you could drop in your Discord ID. Okay, Kush, you can DM him. This is a Discord ID, and we will schedule an interview for you. Perfect. Moving on. Suprit, the stage is all yours.
हमारे 3 लोगों के नाम नहीं आने थे.
All right. So next up, we'll be talking more about something that is one of the core parts of the entire experience at DSC, which is projects. So what we think our core USP is, even compared to other societies in our college, is that we are first and foremost a project-heavy society. So now, why are projects important? Like I guess there was previously a slide about the difference between learning something and implementing it. I believe that is extremely important. Why is that important? Because as engineers, our primary role is to build and engineer solutions to problems that affect us, our society, and our local community. Right? As engineers, our job is to build things. Our job is to build efficient solutions to problems that plague our society, and building things can only happen when you have a good practice at implementing all the things you learn, all the concepts you learn. Say you are learning web development, or say you're learning machine learning. It's important that you implement all your ideas, all the things that you learn in real world projects that solves a real problem. So with this in mind, our primary focus in the society is to have lots of projects so that everyone in every domain, no matter what you're learning, you have a chance to implement something at a fairly large scale project. Furthermore, the most important thing about our projects is that almost all of them are open source. Now, what does open source mean? So there are two types of code bases. One is proprietary or closed source, and one is open source. So what is a proprietary code base? So any code base where you cannot see the code. That is a proprietary code base. So, this example was taken up earlier as well. So I'll just use that as an example. The code base for Windows or the code base for Mac OS, that is proprietary. Like not being a member of, or not being a developer at Microsoft, I do not have access to that code base. I cannot see the code. I cannot maybe find out bugs in that code because I simply do not have access to it. Only the people working at Microsoft have access to that code. We contrast this with an entirely new paradigm of development, which mostly started in the late 90s and the early 2000s, which is the open source development. So what does open source development entail? In an open source code base, the code, as the name suggests, it's open for all. Anyone can view the code, anyone can test the code, anyone can find out bugs in the code, and anyone can contribute the code no matter where they are in the world. They do not need to be members of the organization. You only have maintainers of a code base who like accept and reject the incoming code, or like assign issues. But at its fundamental, anyone in the world can contribute to the code. The code base is entirely open. And that is the exact model that we follow. And this model has been extremely successful. Most of the development tools that you would be using, in your journey up ahead, all of them, most of them would be open source. If you have heard about the Linux operating system, the entire kernel, most of the operating system, it's entirely open source. If some of you have used VS Code, that's also an open source IDE. So yeah, like we want to foster this culture of open source in our college as well, and get to get started with open source. And for that, all of our projects are open source. Anyone can contribute to it. So I'll just give you a quick walkthrough of some of the projects we have ongoing at DSC, and again, all of them are open source. So the first project is Vexio. The entire idea of Vexio is that like in our college, we do not have one centralized website where maybe you can create an account, you can see all the courses you have, you can see your entire timetable, you can find all previous year question papers, all informal resources. We do not have a platform where you can simply go and maybe discuss a question paper with the entire batch. Any question you have, you might ask it in a forum in the entire batch. We do not have a centralized place where say you can get a calendar of all events all societies are holding, a page where you can get information about every society here at Thapar. So we don't have one centralized website which is just made for Thapar. And it's we believe that it's a very big a very big hole in the current tech landscape in our college. And we believe that once we get this product out, we have been actively working in it on it for the past 2 years at this point. And we believe that once we actually release it, it would be an extremely useful product, and a lot of people would be using it. So Vexio is primarily a web development project. We are mostly working on React in the front end. We are using GraphQL, and we are using Django in the backend. So if you are interested in any of these technologies, again, this is open source, so you can contribute it. You can start contributing to it. We highly encourage you. If you are very serious about contributing to any DSC project, we highly encourage you to ask us the technologies that are involved. We can give you courses, we can give you guidance on how to get started, how to learn these technologies. And once you are more confident with say you want to do front end development, say you learn React, and then you want to use your React skills somewhere in a decent large enough code base. So what you do is, like, you after learning React, you can start contributing to Vexio. This is open source, this is all on GitHub. We can also teach you what Git and GitHub is, and how to work with them. That's not an issue. And then you can start contributing to this code base. It's a fairly large code base, so you'll also get experience of how to navigate through a code base, how to contribute effectively, and all this is going to exponentially help you in your development journey. So the next project we have, it's Thapar OLX. We envision it as a buying and selling platform. So like the use case for it is, say you are at campus and there are some things that you no longer need. For instance, I believe you guys have this course called engineering design. You might have bought drafters and everything for it. You might want to done with the course, like maybe you no longer need it. So the idea is, anything you want to sell, it can be anything. You can put it up like in this app. It's basically OLX, but only for students in Thapar, and it is tailor made for students in Thapar. It has information about all the places, all the hostels, all the categories of things usually a college student might want to buy. This is also in development. We plan to release it soon as well. This is primarily a mobile application built in Flutter, and we'll be having a website version of this as well. And again, with this as well, we believe that once we actually get this running and launched, it will be something that people actually use. So this is a common thing you'll notice with all DSC projects. DSC projects are not just technically sound. We try to use the latest technology stacks that are very industry relevant. But we also, have projects which actually solve a real world problem. This is a real world problem that we do not have an easy way to buy and sell things like inside the campus. So, this is a solution to that problem. So, this is a common theme you'll be noticing that is, recurring through all of DSC's projects. So next up is, it's one of the coolest projects we have done in our society. So this is mostly a machine learning, deep learning, and a computer vision project. So this, as the name suggests, it's a self-driving car. So if you're not familiar with, what machine learning or deep learning is, so the basic idea is you train a model, you give it data sets so that, it can automatically achieve the things that you want to achieve. So for instance, you want to achieve a self-driving car. So you have to give it a data set of, all the traffic data, all the location parameters of, like how much you can turn your car and all. So you feed in this data, you train the model, you better your algorithms, you do research into, what is a more effective algorithm, what is a more effective way to, way to achieve what you want to do. It's a very theoretical, it's a very research intensive, and it's a very practical field in that sense. And what we wanted to achieve here was to build a self-driving car so that we any situation we put it in, it navigates the car by itself. And it is like one of the hallmark projects we have at our society, and we did this in collaboration with Team Murja, which is a society primarily dealing with F1 cars and the mechanics, the practical aspect of it. So next up, we have some. I'll give you a brief through of some of the programs we have here at GDSC. Uh, when it comes to learning something, so there are two ways you can go about learning something. One is maybe you find a good book, you find a good course of how to learn a particular thing X, and then what you do is you learn it by yourself. Like you go ahead with the course, you go ahead with the book, you complete it, you're done. So that's one way of learning. The other way of learning that we believe is like significantly more effective and significantly better is the this concept of learning called the peer learning model. So what does the peer learning model encompass? A peer model learning model is where everyone is learning together. So what entails in that is, you form a group where all of you are motivated and all of you want to learn the same thing. You discuss plans, you plan it out, 2 3 weeks you're going to complete this, then you're going to complete that. You hold regular meetings so that you can discuss everything you learned, maybe some problems that you stumbled into, and you have an active community where you can like go ahead and ask out doubts. If you're stuck anywhere, you can simply ask someone else who's doing the same thing as you're doing. You can ask a mentor who has already done the thing you want to do. They are fairly good at doing the thing that like you want to pursue. Say you want to study machine learning, so you find a community where everyone is learning machine learning. You can ask your doubts, you can seek for guidance, and furthermore, like, you can give back to the community. So once you have learned, say, a particular thing, and someone asks a question regarding to that, you'll be at a position to answer that as well. And the very fact, the very process of answering someone else's question, that further solidifies the knowledge. So we believe that a peer learning model is extremely effective, and it's much better than learning by yourself. And that is something that we really want to incorporate in DSC. And to this extent, we have had a few programs where we have gotten together, we have made plans, we have had meetings, and we have tried to learn something together. First up in this program is this program called the Deep Learning Program. If you're not aware about what deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which is unsupervised. So now, to go ahead with learning deep learning, so what we did was, I believe Animesh Bhaiya was leading this. So Animesh Bhaiya had selected a few courses, a few books, and then we had made a plan that in these few months and these few weeks we have to complete these course, this section of the course. And we had a Discord channel where we used to actively ask our doubts and actively seek for help. And this program has been going successfully. I believe it's almost 2 or 3 months since this started. And a lot of the people who have been seriously pursuing this program, they have made a lot of advances. We are also planning to do projects once we are done with learning a significant part of it. So this is an extremely good program. And again, as with all things in DSC, this is open, like not open source, but this is like an open platform as well. So you can join in as well. You don't have to be associated with DSC. You don't have to be a core member at DSC to join this. This is open for all. We have a channel on Discord, on our Discord server, whose link you'll be getting soon. And you can join this program today as well. And if you are interested, even if you are a first year who has not tried this before, you are an absolute beginner and you are interested in pursuing this, we highly encourage you to join in. Ping any of the mentors. Will be more than glad to guide you guys through. The next program we have is something about the basics of quantum computing. So quantum computing is one of the most exciting fields of computer science right now. It's the cutting edge of the most cutting edge computer science and the most cutting edge physics. And it's something that is going to revolutionize the world. It is something which the most of the top companies that are involved in technology and computer science, they are actively researching in this field, because this has potential to significantly change how we interact with machines in general. So I'm not sure if you have heard about this law, but there's a limit to just how much processing power you can get with the chips that we currently use. You might have heard about these 4 nanometer chipset or the 9 nanometer chipset. So the lower the number is, the more faster and more efficient your processor is, and there's a physical limit to how like small you can make this gap. So with quantum computing, we, instead of using classical mechanics, which works at the 4 and the 9 nanometer gaps, with quantum computing, we actually work with quantum mechanics, with subatomic particles, and leverage their properties. So it's a very exciting field. And but at the same time, because it is very new, it is very difficult to get started with it alone without any guidance. So we envisioned this program where we learn together about what quantum computing is. We get some theoretical stuff figured out. We do some practical examples of where we are working with qubits and quantum computing concepts. And to this extent, this program has been running great as well. We have had a few lectures up on YouTube as well. There's a GitHub repository that has a lot of code, that has a lot of stuff on how to get started, how to set up the environment locally, how to try out few experiments on quantum computing on your own system, or or in a notebook. So this is also one of the programs we are proud of. So yeah, like we got together, we have been tackling quantum computing as well. And again, as with anything, this is open as well. If you are interested, we highly encourage you to text us to pick the mentors. We have a Discord channel for this program as well. and we highly encourage you guys to join in. So now next up, like in addition to all this, I'll also talk about some other things that we do as DSC to spread our love for technology and spread our love for computer science. One of the most important things when you're trying to build a community of people interested in a particular thing is to spread your love, spread your knowledge in that thing. The more you spread your knowledge in, say, technology or computer science, the more people get interested in it, the more people learn about it, and the more the community grows. And in this extent, in addition to projects, we also have had programs like podcasts where we call very eminent people in the field of computer science, in the field of development, who have won a lot of hackathons, who are working at amazing companies, who are at amazing roles, maybe as software developers, maybe as engineers. uh, we call them to our podcast. We have a good hour-long discussion with them, and it is something that has been extremely helpful, not just for us taking the interviews or making the podcast, but also for the people actually tuning in to listen. It's a great opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction with some of the most eminent people in the field of computer science and technology. We have some podcasts out. We'll be sending you the link as well. I believe we have 5 or 6 podcasts out in the past year or two, and we plan to resume with this program in the coming months. We'll be having more podcasts for you guys as well. And once you get into the core of DSC, you can start your own podcast too. You can call the people you want, and this is something we highly encourage our members to do. In addition to podcasts, we also have our own blog on Medium, where members of DSC, we write about articles related to technology and we publish them on the Medium site for DSC. It is also a great platform to share the knowledge that you have. Maybe you tried learning something, you gained something out of it. Even if you want to share your experience, that's welcome too. We have some articles out on our DSC publication as well, and we are actively pumping out articles, and we hope to see you guys contribute to it very soon as well. So yeah, after all this orientation, I believe like the single most important reason why you guys have come here is to learn about how the recruitment process for DSC works. It's a bit different compared to other societies, but it's fairly simple at the end of the day. And to explain this recruitment process better, I'd like to invite Saurav to elaborate on this.
Hello everyone. Am I audible, Suprit?
Yeah, go
Hello everyone, I'm back again. So it is probably the most exciting part of this event. We have got a little meme right here about how people think that joining GSC is like joining Google, but it's technically not that, though it is very helpful for a resume, but it is obviously not guaranteeing you a job at Google. What we have been concentrating on has obviously totally been said by Suprit and Jayati beautifully. So yeah, now we have noticed this thing in a lot of clubs in Thapar, that if you have to get into a society, you have to go through a particular quiz, right? And in that quiz, something might happen. You might not be able to display your full potential there, and at the end of the quiz, half of the students get eliminated. So we thought that it might not be the best process to select people into a club like GDSC. What we believe in is we might have a small team, but the team should be quality team. Okay, so like we don't have 100 members like other clubs. From first year, we will only have 20 members, but the members will be the best from Thapar or anywhere else. Okay, so the second doubt that people had about joining GDSC is, do we necessarily have to be in Thapar to be a part of this club? No, though we have a hierarchy, a kind of a hierarchy. Like we have members, then we have the core members, and then we have the leads. Okay, so right now we have 3 leads. It is me, Aniket, and Ujjwal. They're also present in this session. And after that, we have some mentors. They're mostly from third year, but as I said, we have tried to remove that seniority gap. So we have Kunal Demla from second year, who is actually a designing mentor, and we might increase this count next year. So a lot of you guys might be able to be mentors in GDSC if we think that you're good enough. Okay, so that was about it. So the first step to being a part of GDSC is actually being in the Discord server. I've sent the Linktree link. You can find the Discord server invite link there. Also, you have to join the GDSC community page that is also present in the Linktree. So this will be the first step, and then you can be officially the members of GDSC. Okay, nothing else needs to be done. You are a member of GDSC. Now the next, once you're a member of GDSC, you are obviously enabled to be a part of any of the projects that we are currently running. You just have to text that channel or look at the repository, and then you can be a part. We actually have meetings for these projects, though they are held somewhere else right now. But if you want to be a part of any of the projects that we are currently running, then all you have to do is, I will actually find you the section that we have. It is named as open for contributions on Discord. We have a category for that. If you're interested, just leave a text about what is a prerequisite and about how can I contribute. Someone from the GDSC core team will let you know about how you can contribute. And as Suprit mentioned, you can join the programs too. We have a specific program for DL for people who are actually interested in going that side. And we have a basic quantum computing course by Sanya. So that is also great. We are trying to move away from the web and app thing that is going on currently everywhere. Like everyone wants to be a web developer or app developer. There are other things too. So try learning them. You can join them there. So the next part that we have is about how can I join the core team. Okay. So currently we only have members from second and third year in the core team in the hierarchy that I mentioned earlier. But if you want to be a core member, we had a quiz right now, right? So some people will be interviewed. If they are good enough, then they'll be there. If they're not good enough, then we'll probably ask them to interview us again later. But for the freshers or for people from second year or from third year, even people from fourth year can join us. That is not a problem. All you will have to do is pass some interview. For that interview, what we will be having is, uh, for example, this event is over. After this, we'll have a boot camp. Okay, that will be occurring in the month of either February or March, depends on the pandemic situation in the college actually, and if we are offline or online, depends on everything of that and the exams too. So we'll have a boot camp. So this is the place where we hold lectures for different categories. For example, if there is web development, then we can have React, and then we can have Node.js. Okay, once that boot camp is over, we will actually teach you React and Node.js. We will have it for different categories like web development, app development, and other things. This is where the members of the core team will be teaching you. And once you have learned the thing, we will give you some time to work on a specific project. Okay, you can collaborate with either your friends or yourself and use the technology that we taught to build something that is nice enough. So this is the first phase where we actually sort out children, sorry, not children, but students who are actually really good at tech. So that is the first step. And when we know people who are good at tech, we can actually offer them an interview for a core team. Okay. So this is something that is different from other clubs, not pretty straightforward, but something that is different and something that we think is good enough to bring out the best people in Thapar. And in this way, you can actually learn something while joining a club. It's not like you give some bogus aptitude test that is just maths from 8th or 9th standard, and you are in the society. You can't do that here. You will actually have to build something that is good enough. And once we know that it's good enough, you're in. Okay. So, for example, Suprit was talking right now. He never had to give any interview. He contributed to Vexio and he was good enough, and now he's right in front of you talking. Okay. So this was the first way in which you can get recruited for the technical people. Now there might come some people who will be like, I'm not that technical, I'm from some other branch, but I still want to be a part of the core team in a non-technical way, either through content management or you can say social media, or we can have other things too, whatever the departments we have designing, everything like that. For that, we will actually have an interview later on. In that, you will have to fill out a form wherein we ask all the details and the work that you have done. This is also where you can show us your work. For example, if someone like Jaiti comes up and she's like, I'm good at designing. So she will actually have to show us some designs that she thinks are good enough. then we'll shortlist some people and then we'll call them out for interviews. Okay, and then the interviews will be over and then you can be in the non-technical team. So all of this happens a bit later. What we first try to do is actually take in people through the technical way. So for that you will have to attend a boot camp, learn some technology, submit as a project, and if the project is good, then you can have an interview. If there are a lot of people, we can have an interview. If there are not many people, then we can have them directly in. Okay, I guess you guys do understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, you can ask something in the chat. From where can we contribute? No, no, Kinnosh. There are no there are no prerequisites. Okay, you don't have to be a super good developer right now. You can learn and you can contribute. There are no prerequisites. Like we are expecting to teach you. If we teach Python or if we teach Django or if we teach DL, then we will expect you to build something after that, not before that. Okay. When will the boot camp will be held in February or March? I told it depends on the pandemic situation really. For now, what you can do is either you can join a program that we are running, or you can start if you already know how to work with some technologies, then you can start contributing right now. You just need to text in some group and for example, let me show you. Actually, let me just give you a demonstration. For example, Aniket is the lead for Vexio project. And if Kush right here, who is texting in the channel, wants to be a part of Vexio, so what he can do is he can text in the Vexio group that this project seems interesting and I would be like to be I would like to be a part of it. Then Aniket can tell you about the technologies that we are using. If you have the time right now and if you want to learn by yourself, then you can actually Aniket will also provide you with the resources that he has, and then you can learn. Abhise, we will provide you with YouTube lectures or any other source. You can learn them right now and start contributing if possible. Else, we will have the bootcamp later. Okay. This is not a proper recruitment process wherein you will have one date and you will come in and give a quiz. It's a continuous process. Do you understand? Once the boot camp is over, then we'll have the project deadline wherein you will submit the project and get recruited. Okay, so it's a continuous process. And actually, if you are active on Discord and we can find people who are actually good enough, then we can have you in right now too. Other than that, one more thing. Like Suprit mentioned about the blogs, I sent you the blog series link. If you guys want to write blogs for us, you are welcome. We can have a blog, your blog published on our page. Like if Ria decides to write a blog on, she learned something in college. For example, she learned C++ and she learned OOPS and she learned inheritance and she understands inheritance very well. So then she starts writing a blog on inheritance, and we think you can submit the blog to us. If the blog is at par, then we can have it published on our page. Actually, all of this can be addressed in the AMA session too. So like these small doubts about how to join a program or how to contribute. And don't keep the AMA restricted to, all of this, like about recruitments. You can ask any general doubts that you might have about, जैसे कि if I want to know कि मेरे को ये Django कैसे पढ़नी है तो मेरे से पूछ लो in the AMA channel. या फिर सुप्रीत से कुछ डाउट है about how has he been studying to get good marks in college, तो वो पूछ लेना. ठीक है, it's pretty general, it's not just about recruitments. It's a interactive session. Okay, तुम बात करो सीनियर से, तुम जानो कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं and तुम उन्हें बताओ कि what you are doing. It's very interactive. You will get to know a lot of people. At GDC we have one of the best developers in college. Okay, बाकी सारी जगह जाके देख लेना, मिल जाएंगे तुम्हें लोग और फिर आके यहाँ पे कंपेयर करके देख लेना. ठीक है, मतलब just talk to them. You will understand, you can understand people by their intellect. Okay, once you talk to Animesh, you will know कि ये बंदा IIT रुड़की से है कहीं से. ठीक है, तो talk to them and get to understand them and ask any doubts that you have. Any, like literally any doubts.
Okay, Kush has been asking, how to join a program. So if you join our Discord server, you'll find a section there where we have, all the ongoing programs. So you'll find a channel for the DL program as well. So वहाँ पे just, message that, you want to get started, and, someone would be there to help you out, will give you courses, and, will tell you whenever meetings are held. So just, stay active on Discord. Discord is like the one place where all of us congregate. And React Native. Yeah, we do have React Native devs in our society. Although I believe we do not have any ongoing React Native project right now. But if we find enough people, we'll be glad to start another project in React Native as well. And we have a channel for React Native. वहाँ पे you can ask your doubts, you can ask for guidance. So yeah, that's there. And do join for our AMA session. We'll be having it on our Discord server very soon. And there you can talk to us about not just about the society, as Saurabh has said, about technology. Even if you want to discuss something exciting like Web3 or any new upcoming technology trends, feel free to do that. We'll love to have a conversation.
Yeah, about the blockchain program, blockchain tech, we actually have something planned up. We will probably have it in March or later. We have something planned on the lines of Bitcoin later on. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move to Discord actually. It will be better to conversate right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope all of you guys have come about to